This is going to be sweet. I'm really excited about the opportunity to show you the ProStop digital fence and stop system. Now, before I get into all the details, I want to show you 3 things that the ProStop is going to fix for me at my miter saw. Now, a good miter saw fence, I think you should have flip stops, but you should have a flip stop that does not have deflection. I think that's a problem with a lot of flip stops on the market today. What I mean by that is when I introduce my piece, you can see that there's a lot of movement there. So you don't get the precision with a flip stop that has deflection. Okay? The other thing you could use is a fixed stop. So when I introduce my piece, there's no deflection there. But the problem with using a fixed stop, you don't have the flexibility, the ability to move the stop and then precisely go back to where you were. So let's say, for example, I want 10 pieces at this desired location, right? Once I make my 10 cuts, I advance to that next cut that I want to make. Once I move this, I've lost that calibration. So with the ProStop, I can come over to the stop, set at 35 inches, and make as many cuts as I want. If I need to bypass that, I could bypass that measurement. Again, no deflection. And once I'm done with that cut, I could go on to any desired cut that I want, right? And let's say that I wanted 31 11/16, just for giggles. I make all the cuts that I want at that measurement. And for some reason, during my assembly, I messed up a piece that was 35 inches. Well, I can easily go back to 35 inches. Lock it down, and I'm ready to go. So, let's see if we got 35 inches. I would say that it doesn't get any better than that. All right, now let me bring you in a little closer and show you the display. Obviously, we have the on-off button. We have our units of measure, and we can go through. That last cut that I made was at 35 inches, and I was set on the 16th setting for units. So if I hit it again, it will go and move to the 32nd. Okay, we could do a 64th, We could use millimeters. We can do inch decimals. And I'm going to go back to the 16th. Right? Now my screen's locked. So by hitting plus a datum or the minus, I cannot change the calibration unless I unlock the screen. To unlock the screen, we're going to press and hold on off and hit units. Now the screen's unlocked. I could change the calibration by hitting the plus sign. Okay. Now you'll notice as I go back to my calibration of 35, I have 3 dashes. So right now that measurement is reading a heavy 35 inches. Each one of the dashes represents a 64th of an inch. And to better show you what I mean by that, I'm going to go back to 35 and I'm going to lock it in place. Now I have both my locks locked down and secure. This is my secondary lock. I'm going to loosen that up, making sure that my main lock is engaged so my stop cannot move. With the secondary lock loosened, I'm now able to use the micro adjust feature on the flip stop. So if I'm at 35 inches and I want to take the flip stop and I want to go towards my blade, I want to get to 34 and 15/16. I could turn the dial or the knob and now I'm at 34 and a heavy 15/16. By me moving that a little bit and having this number populate, I moved the stop a 64th of an inch towards the blade. So I have 3 dashes populated on the top right hand side. If I move the screw again, I eliminated one of the dashes. I'm advancing the stop a 64th of an inch. And I can continue to do so by eliminating a dash, and I can get now to exactly 34 and 15/16. So that is the precision that you're going to get with the ProStop. You get 2 quick sets with the ProStop, and it goes into the front slot of the extruded aluminum fence. And when it's inside the fence, it's out of the way. You can still slide the stop past the quick set. When you want to use the quick set, you pull it out of that front slot, you slide it into place and you can lock it down. You can set them anywhere you want. I had this one preset at 36 3/8. So from my flip stop to my blade, I know I'm going to get a cut at 36 3/8. You can have as many as you want. I have this one set at 29 inches, so I know when I lock that down, I'm going to be at 29 inches. Now, after 15 minutes of not moving the stop, the screen will go off on its own, and that's to save the battery life. But it has built-in memory, so we don't need to recalibrate it when we turn it back on. So when I turned it off, it was at 34 and 15/16. So when I turn it on, I'm back to 34 15/16. Now after 15 minutes, the display goes off. I don't need to make that cut. I'm going to move to my next cut. Well, all I need to do is give it a little bump and it wakes up exactly where it was. I'm going to show you some calibration. First, I want to point out a couple things about my setup. I have a pretty big 12-inch saw, and I have a dust box around it, and this is as close as I can get the stop to the blade. Ideally, you want to get the stop in as close as you can to the blade. Now, from the edge of the stop to the kerf of my blade, I have 18.5 inches. So how am I going to get small repeated cuts in between the edge of the stop and the kerf of my blade? Well, depending on the saw that you have, you can buy a 12-inch reach and stop plate and attach it to the flip stop of the ProStop. But for me, 12 inches won't work. So one thing I can do is I could take a piece of scrap and I could just bring it in here, make a cut, and zero out the display. So to change the display, it's really easy to do. Press and hold the on-off button and then hit the units button. That unlocks the screen. Now with the screen unlocked, I just zeroed out the blade with the edge of this piece of wood so I can hit the datum button and I'm at 0. Now I want to lock that calibration in, press and hold the on-off and then hit units. And now my screen's locked. I can't change that calibration. So I can check the calibration by moving the stop over, and I will move it to 6 3/4, lock it in place, and make a test piece. And I could check to see how well that worked. And I have 6 3/4. All right. And if I wanted to go further and show you something smaller, we could do that. I can come in here and I can cut a piece at 1 inch. Get the old caliper. Come on, focus. There we go. All right, so that's one method to calibrate and to be able to cut small pieces. And I could still take this and slide it down and use this spacer as my stop. Or, since I am a woodworker and I have scraps of wood, I can make a nice fancy custom long reach stop block. And I'll use some 1/4 shoulder bolts with some knurled knobs. Have a large dado in here. Now this is going to go and wrap around the flip stop. The holes in the flip stop accept 1/4 shoulder bolts. Long reach stop block that's attached to the flip stop, and it still functions properly. And now what I could do is, since this is sacrificial, I could bring this over to where my kerf is on my saw and just kiss it just a little bit. And you can see that my readout is reading 2 13/16 of an inch. This, like I already told you, from here to here is like 18.5. So now I go through, I make a cut, and then I zero it out again. Press and hold on, off, hit units, unlocks the screen, datum, zeroes it out, press and hold on off, hit units, locks the screen, and I'm calibrated again. So if I want a piece to be 4.5 inches, I have a piece 4.5 inches. Okay, so what kind of cut capacity do I have with this long reach stop block? Well, I received the 94-inch long fence with the stop all the way at the end, from the edge of my stop block to the kerf of my blade. I have about 7.5 feet. Now, if I need anything longer than that, I can easily remove this long reach stop block and I can get over an 8-foot, 96-inch cut capacity. Can't remember the last time I made anything over 8 feet, so I'm going to keep this block on pretty much at all times. The ProStop is a fantastic upgrade in my shop, and I don't know, I'm really excited about it. It's awesome. I don't know what else to say. It's awesome. Here's some information for you. ProScale.com. It's the website you want to go to. You go check it out. It's the accurate technology. It's the ProStop. And there is a 3-year warranty against defective parts and craftsmanship. Thank you very much, Accurate Technology, for sending me the ProStop to test and review. And thank you for watching.